I just realized I forgot to wear deodorant this morning. And in a couple hours, I'm gonna be going mountain biking to Whole Foods, and no deodorant. And it's hot today too. It's like in the 80s. Well, you know what? We haven't checked the comment tree in a couple days, so let's just go with this one. Okay, so the video I made was called Norwood 3 Don't Want to Disappoint My Mom by Buzzing It Off. And that was my story. That wasn't someone, leaving a comment. That was me actually acknowledging the fact that we have relationships with people in the world, and that has an influence on our hair decisions. For those of us who at least have a Norwood 3 where we still have options and decisions, I mentioned how I'm kind of caught in between. My mom doesn't like me to buzz off my hair. My wife prefers that I do. And then there's me also who, wants to still figure all this. Well, there's like a gnat. There's me who also wants to, experiment with the hair that I have while I still have it until I turn 40, and ultimately, I think, delve into the territory of Norwood 4. All right, but let's talk about this. 90 seconds into the video. James ADK had this to say, quote, "If your hair grows faster, are you less likely to go bald? Want to hear your thoughts," end quote. Simple comment. Thanks, James. I know you haven't commented before. Thank you for being a part of my journey here in Norwood 3 hair loss situation. I think that's a very good question. He's saying, if your hair grows faster, are you less likely to go bald? And, I'd have to say I'm the best person in the world to answer this question, because my entire life, my hair has grown arguably about twice as fast as other men. However long it's supposed to, is it what, a quarter of an inch that it's supposed to grow every month? Mine grows more like a half inch. So it's always been that way. My mom would have to take me to get a haircut more so than most moms would have to take the boys to get haircuts. And in elementary years, I just had it like spiked, like it was just short. It was almost like a grown out buzz cut, really, is kind of what I had going on. And it just grew too fast, always did, and it still does. And of course, obviously, as you know, hair and fingernails are ultimately the same thing. It's dead skin growing out of your body. And for me, I literally have to clip my fingernails about every 3 or 4 days. That's how fast my nails grow. And my hair is the same way. So I am the epitome of someone who has fast growing hair and always has been. So if we're going to ask this question, if your hair grows faster, are you less likely to go bald? Well, look at me. I guess that would be my answer. Let's see, what is today, the 21st or something? So in less than a month, I'll be 36. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think that I am less likely to go bald at this point in my life? Imagine someone being almost 36 and having this much hair, being a Norwood 3. Does that theory add up? Yes, my hair grows faster than most men. That's a fact. Do I have more men than those who are my age? And to put, I guess we have to say too, not just any man, a man of European descent, a man who is white, which mostly I am. So I guess that theory would make sense. I mean, it could be a coincidence. I had somebody leave a comment last week saying, if your hair comes to a point in the back, then the next sibling to be born will be a sister. Well, that's what I have. I have a younger sister. I can't prove that either way. I can say it's been true for me. But to say that you're less likely to go bald, I mean, that's a relative question, because I'm a Norwood 3. I'm not a Norwood 2 or Norwood 1 at age 35. I'm a Norwood 3. So if there was any truth to that, I guess it kept me from going bald at age 20. But ultimately, I'm pretty average when it comes to me being a man of European descent and losing my hair. Great question. But I don't know that there's absolutely anything concrete or even enough to present a theory on that to be true. Now let me close this video by kind of reviewing what we've talked about as far as these series go, what I feel like I've disproven, and then theories that I've presented that I think are legitimate. So things that I feel that I've proved that are not legitimate theories is that your height has something to do with with you going bald sooner. You know, there's this report that is indicating that if you're shorter, then you're more likely to lose your hair, and if you're taller. But I don't know, I can think of so many men that are tall and bald, and guys that are short and have hair. And I'm 5'9", so I'm kind of right in between being tall and short. I'm not either. So I know so many men with more and less hair and that are taller and shorter than me. I just don't see that being relevant. I've heard the thing about your mother's father being the indication of whether you'd keep your hair. But my mother's father was in his 50s and still was a Norwood 2 at the worst. So he didn't lose his hair on top until he was in his 70s. So I don't see that being true. I'm losing my hair at a quicker pace than he is. And then the thing about wearing hats, that you're more likely to lose your hair if you wear hats. I don't believe in that either, because that's a loud bird. Because I wore hats a lot and always have, and I see no effect on those. Those are theories I don't think are valid, but theories I do believe are valid, and then that's the end of this video. I've presented to you, and you can look this up on my channel, where if you go back to where you were 1 year old, you can look at your hairline when you were a 1-year-old boy. And my theory is that when you're 35, that's how your hairline will look as a 35-year-old man, which I show you a side-by-side picture to prove that my hairline is the same now as it was when I was 1 year old. Because 1 year old is basically just a good projection of what you're going to look like as a grown man. I also have a theory that I've talked about before. If you're more likely to grow a beard, facial hair, and have extra body hair like I do, then you're also, especially to be able to grow facial hair quick, because I had a full beard at 16. The theory is if you're more likely to have body hair and facial hairs, you're also more likely to lose your hair sooner than later. And then there's also the theory that I feel is valid, that if you don't struggle with going gray, but you will struggle with losing your hair, you're more likely to. So those are theories that I believe are real versus those that I think are not. Now I got to close with this disclaimer for any people out there looking for the exception to the rule. I'm not saying these are foolproof theories. I'm saying overall, these are the theories that I believe are real and those that are not, as far as that have credibility. I think it's a great conversation to keep talking about this. It's fun to try to figure out ways to predict if someone's going to lose their hair. So I've presented to you what I think is real and what's not. But again, they're theories. They're not 100%. So those are my thoughts. And James, again, welcome to the group here. Thanks for asking a question. And I know that your question has caused me to think today. It's been new information. That's why I chose to do a video on it. And I have a feeling that others are going to appreciate your question as well. I'm Nick Shell. I am the founder and leader of the Brotherhood of the Hair Loss.